Hello, everyone. Welcome to PHTV4 in Palos Heights. I'm Sue Jankowski, and we are here with the Travel Show. This is a great show because we dream big and then we go do it. So you can have some fun learning about what Kathy Janes has brought into us today, all about a new adventure for you. Kathy, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I really want to thank Kathy, excuse me, because it is one of those super cold days where we're filming today. And it was really chilly to get here. But look, she's got on a nice, cozy, warm sweater.
Yes.
And she's brought us a guest today, so thank you for doing that.
You're very welcome.
We have Mary Margaret here today, Mary Margaret Ruthers. She is coming to us from AmaWaterways. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you very much,
You
Susan.
too, you braved the cold.
Yes.
Great.
Considering when I woke up, it was what, minus 10? Yeah. Real time.
Yeah, exactly. So we're really happy to be here today and give you some ideas about what you can do, what you can learn about. I'm really excited about this because I don't really know a lot about the company that you work for. So first of all, I think it's kind of interesting to see, how did you get involved in AmaWaterways to start with? What made you gravitate to that?
Well, actually, with AmaWaterways, I was recruited by them back in, the first time I started selling river cruises was in 2000, all right, even though AmaWaterways was actually founded in 2002. River cruising at that point was, if I walked into your office, Kathy, you'd probably look at me as if I had three heads, because
And
river
you're right.
cruising in Europe in 2000 was kind of, what is that? I don't have clients that are 85 and dying or 95 and dying, whatever, to do this. But
They
now
didn't hear
it's
of it,
the
yeah.
hottest thing out there.
Yeah.
I mean, we attract not only the retirees, but I would have to say that our average age is probably 50 on up. But with our wine cruise journeys, we attract the 40-year-olds even the late 30-year-olds, because we've got wine hosts on those. We are, actually, for 2024, we are offering 74 wine hosted itineraries.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That is
74.
really, that's a lot.
And next year in 25, we've got 82.
Wow, okay.
And these are
Super
wine
popular.
hosted by owners of the vineyards of not only the United States, Australia, Canada, but all over, and we do wine tasting. So
That got to be cool.
And we do a wine paired dinner. We go into the vineyards. We learn about what's going on in that particular area, whether we're in Bordeaux, whether we're on the Rhone, whether we're on the Rhine, etc. It's just amazing.
Okay, so that's one venue that you could take, the wine tours.
Yeah.
That's very popular. Wine is very popular right now. What other venues would there be to take?
Well, with river cruising, we're on the rivers of Europe, right, at this point. But we also do the rivers we do the Nile. We're starting Colombia on the Magdalena in end of November of this year. And we also do the Douro in Portugal. So they're journeys, they're itineraries. So we would travel either, say, from Budapest to Vilshoven or vice versa. But they're the rivers of Europe. And so we do France. We do, as I mentioned, we do Portugal, which is extremely popular because many people have already done, the other rivers of Europe, so they want to do something different, so they're into Portugal.
So true.
And we do Vietnam, which is becoming extremely popular for people because it's a new adventure. It's just like Egypt. It's just like the Magdalena is. They want to venture forth. They want to be a little bit more adventuresome.
Yeah, they want to do something that's different that they haven't seen before.
Right.
Okay, well, let's start back at like a wine cruise. So if, you don't have to be a wine aficionado, but you could learn about wines during
absolutely.
this cruise.
Absolutely.
So, typically, what would someone find on a cruise like that? What would they be doing?
Drinking a lot of wine.
Drinking a lot of wine, right? So doing wine tasting at 10 o'clock in the morning. No.
Okay.
Well, number one, you would have a wine host, which would give you some education on the wines that particular wine host is bringing on board, all right? You would have some wine tastings of whether it be red and white or both, all right? There'd be a sommelier. You'd have a dinner with a wine, which is wine paired. So when you're sitting down at one of our tables, you might have 6 wine glasses in front of you because every course is set with a different type of wine. But there's also tours, because not only are we doing say, wine tasting and going into the vineyards. But say you're doing from Budapest to Wieshofen, you are going to be going into Vienna. You can go into Kreski. You can go into Linz. So you'll be going into various different cities and getting a tour of those. And we offer on AmaWaterways, we offer bike tours because we have 26 bicycles on all of our European cruises, our ships. And the ships are small. I don't know if you know, we were just talking about Alaska and the big, I call them the big boy cruises
big
that
boys,
have, anywhere from say 750 to 6,000. We have, our maximum is on the Magna, which can only do the Danube, is 196 passengers. Our regular river cruises are either 154 or 164 passengers. Our ones in France are 144, so they're small. They're intimate.
You know, I think that people hear cruise, some people, and they're like, oh, I just can't do that. So many people and too much food and all of these things. But these river cruises are way scaled down. And your dining sounds to be a lot more intimate, not such at a gigantic level.
Yes. Well, you have breakfast. Our meal, I like to say AmaWaterways is inclusive. It's not all inclusive. When somebody says all inclusive, that means all your drinks, everything is around. Well, with breakfast, yes, we offer sparkling wine. So you could start your day off with a mimosa if you like. You're on holiday, remember that. And then you have a tour in the morning. And because with Ama, all of our tours are included. Right? So in that sense, we are inclusive. Lunch, you have choices. You could have lunch in our bistro area in the lounge, or you could have in our dining area. And we always have with lunch and dinner unlimited free-flowing beer, wine, and soda, which is complimentary. And our wines are regional. They're changed on a daily basis. So you have a taste. You know what's coming from, say, Regensburg, or you know what's coming from Passau. You know what's coming from the Strasbourg area, et cetera. The Alsace region of France. And then we also have a sip and sail, which is a cocktail party, an hour and a half prior to dinner, which is an open bar. So we are inclusive in that sense. But if you want a cocktail after dinner, then it's on you. But we've always felt that we don't want to be all inclusive, because why would you want to pay for somebody else's drinking habits? When we give you what you want. And in your stateroom, what we also do is we have what I call our magic drawer, because our magic drawer has 2 wine glasses, a corkscrew, and a bottle opener. Because you're in Europe, you're on tour. You find a bottle of wine or beer that you cannot buy in the States. Purchase it. We don't, like the big boys, they confiscate it.
Yes, they do.
With us,
They take it away.
bring it on board.
Yeah.
We'll even open it if you can't.
That's very
There's
nice.
no corkage
that's
fee.
cool.
Very nice.
So we want you to enjoy your holiday.
That's really cool.
Now, with these tours, are you? Is it more catered to just adults, or is it a lot of families coming on board?
In a sense, basically it's adults, but we do allow children. We allow children age 4 and older. They have to share a stateroom with, obviously, an adult. But you don't find many, because there's not much to do there at all. I mean, we don't have the big, we have swimming pools, all right? We have a wellness coordinator, yes, but what we find are the older ones. We find the teenagers, the college students, the 20-year-olds that are coming, the multi-generationals. A lot of that happening during the summertime, or especially from Thanksgiving to New Year's, where the grandparents want their families all to be together, which is wonderful with us, because they can come, they can do their tour. The youngsters, if they want to do bike tours, they can go do that. If they want to do hikes, because we also offer hiking excursions, they can go do that, and they can meet for dinner.
Which is great, and that is nice, a multi-generational, because then maybe the grandparents really don't want to go on a biking trip, but they can, and we all meet up for dinner, which is really wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so any kind of wine tour sounds delightful, and it sounds like there's a lot of different regions to choose from. And so, say you're not really into the wine so much, or you don't really want to learn that much about wine.
That's fine.
But you would take a wine tour. You would say, I want to take more of a regular tour.
So you want to do either the Danube, the Rhine. You could do the Moselle, which is one of the most beautiful rivers in Europe. You can go into France, where you can do the Rhone, the Saône, and in the Seine, you know. So you've got the various different rivers that you can choose from. It's various different itineraries. We offer in Europe alone over 60 various different itineraries that the clients can choose from. As
That's
far as
wonderful.
you know,
Yeah.
what they're 7 nights. We offer pre and post. So they say, for an example, you're going to do Vilshofen to Budapest on the Danube. You can fly in and do a 3-night Prague, which is one of the most beautiful cities. It's the Paris of the East, you know. So they have 3 nights, and what's unique about us is that our cruise managers will meet them at the hotel. We meet them at the airport. We bring them to their hotel in Prague, for an example. They will meet their cruise manager. They'll have their tours with their cruise manager, and the cruise manager actually travels with them to the ship, is with them on the ship for their 7-night journey to Budapest. And then if they decide to do the 2-night Budapest post, the cruise manager is with them. So they have one person that they're actually with their entire journey.
I think that makes people feel very comfortable.
Especially in Europe.
Yeah, when maybe you're unfamiliar with the language or the terrain or whatever. It
And
feels
with
good.
the smaller ships, such as you offer, that's such personalized service,
It is,
and
yeah.
that's really super.
Yeah,
That you
it
feel
is.
like you're really very special.
Yeah. That,
We think they are.
yeah.
Right, because you're treating them that way because you've got the smaller ships, you have somebody with them all the time. They're going to love that, and then you get to know everybody that's on that ship with you, and you learn about other countries and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important thing is on these gigantic cruise lines, you're not familiar with everybody, obviously, and so you get to know most of the people on your
Yes.
ship, I would think.
Yes, I remember taking my mom on a river cruise with me, and she met a couple from Australia, and she is still
That's great.
corresponding with them at Christmas time.
Oh,
That's
isn't that
great.
nice?
It's amazing, and people always say that, and they meet people, and then they'll talk and say, "Okay, where are we going next?"
But that's part of it.
that
That's
is
part of the
nice.
vacation. That's part of the cruise.
Yes.
Is meeting up with people, finding out about where they're from and
Mm-hmm.
what their lifestyle is like, and then keeping that friendship going.
Right.
That's all part of the trip.
It's all part of travel. And,
Yes.
you know, learning,
Absolutely.
expanding your horizons, taking the blinders off, and going and exploring.
Yeah.
Do you find that a mixture on the ship from people from different countries, or is it like mostly here we are, we're Americans and we're all together, or is it even across the country in the United States, different people coming? What's the mixture like?
The mixture. It's basically U.S., all right, Canadian. We also, some South Americans, but it's a mixture. But they need to speak English. It's an English-speaking crew and basically an English-speaking ship. Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good to know, because then you're not confused when you go there and you're English
6 different
speaking.
languages.
Yeah.
No, it's just English.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
And
Well,
that does make it
that's a
difficult,
positive,
yeah.
too.
Now we do have a couple of Latin cruises where they're just the Spanish-speaking. We also have. You might say Australian because they speak a different language, right?
sort of.
Yeah, but no, but it's basically English. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's just jump to like something what we would consider more exotic, and that is taking a cruise into Vietnam. And I have heard Vietnam is very beautiful, actually through my son, because he went on vacation there and actually took some classes there as well. And he said it's just so beautiful.
Vietnam is absolutely gorgeous, and the people are so friendly. They smile. It's almost like going to Africa, because we do Africa as well, where you meet the people and the children. All they want to do is smile, and they want to touch you. They want to learn from you. And but Vietnam is the same way. Now, the food. We go into the villages, and we always tell you you need to be careful of what you eat if you're going to do any tasting in the villages. But our food on board ship is beautiful, and our ship is only 124 passengers.
Also,
So it's a land and it's a cruise. So it's both.
Okay.
And then we do offer a post in Bangkok if people want to extend.
So you're getting off your ship and taking, I'm assuming, some sort of bus travel to somewhere into the country? Is that what's happening there?
Well, it depends upon so we do Saigon, we do Hanoi, and so we have the tours there, and then we do the cruise, and then yes, we go into the little villages on the ship where we may, we walk. It's not a bus. The villages are the walkways
okay.
are too small.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get a big bus into them.
Okay.
It's into the villages. So
tiny.
you're actually on a bus with a little lollipop. So
Oh, kind
Tour
of your
guide.
open
Tour guide
air
lollipop, yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that sounds like fun. Okay, so then we want to go to Africa. Where would we be going there?
we offer 5 different itineraries to Africa that you can go to. Say, for an example, you fly into Cape Town. You spend 3 nights in South Africa in Cape Town, and we take you to up the gondola. We take you to see the penguins, because there are penguins in South Africa, into wine country, to some wine tasting. Of course, South African wines are delicious. Then we fly you to Botswana. In Botswana, you board the Zimbisi Queen, and she is only 14 suites, 28 passengers.
Wow. She is small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you sail the Chobe for 4 nights, the Chobe River, and you will see a plethora of animals. You'll see zebras, rhinos, giraffes, over 500 species of birds, and you will see a ton of elephants. And I know that sounds a ton, but you'll be up close and personal, all right? And then you go into Victoria Falls for 2 nights, and you go visit the falls. And then you have the choice of going into Johannesburg if you'd like, and then you go home. It's an amazing journey.
I mean,
and
yeah.
Africa will change your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means the people are amazing. I mean, they are.
Isn't that just sounds like someone who's traveled a little bit, would like that extra different adventure.
It's
or
unusual.
if you haven't gone anywhere
It's
and that's
unusual.
been in your head, you should go.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is an amazing journey. It truly is.
Yeah.
But Europe is the most popular. France is, of course, France this year has got the Olympics. It's got the 75th anniversary of, no, the 80th anniversary of the beaches, which is historic. You've got the Paralympics coming also into the Paris region. So France is going to be very busy for a few weeks there. But I tell you, it is an absolutely lovely journey to go from Lyon down to Arles, spending some time in Nice, going from Paris up to Normandy and back to Paris. It is
beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of people kind of ruminating about Portugal, because they've been to Spain, or they've been to different countries in Europe, but Portugal seems like that outlier that people haven't really had the opportunity or thought about until recently. So you've got a big
following for Portugal, because, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people have done the Danube, they've done the Rhine. Now, with Portugal, you go from, we have two different itineraries on the Douro, and the Douro Valley is absolutely exquisite. I mean, it's breathtaking. We travel only during the day. We don't travel at night. But Portugal is different than the Rhine, the Danube, the Moselle, where on those rivers, you get off your ship and you could be actually walking into a town. Whereas in Portugal, you don't. It is, you get off the ship and we have to bus you to the various cities, towns, and villages because there's nothing along. The only city that is along the Douro River is Porto.
Really?
So it's a little bit different, but we're actually putting a 3rd ship in 2025 on the Douro River because of its popularity. And you go through 33 locks, which is 33 locks. It's amazing.
That's a lot.
A lot of locks,
Yeah.
yes. Because the river is not that long. It's not as long as, say, the Danube or the Rhine or the Moselle. So it's different.
It has to be doing an awful lot of up and down the
Yeah.
river. Jiminy's, yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
There's a program on TV, not to change the subject on this, and the guy goes to different countries in Europe, and it's called Delicious Destinations. And one of them was Porto, and they showed the river, and they showed the wine country, and that's where port wine was.
Yes, yeah.
Very fascinating, because he tells you a little bit about the country and the river and whatnot. That's just, it's amazing what you can find out and what you can learn on this.
That sounds really wonderful.
But it's like that with any city you go to. I mean, whether it be Lyon, which is the gastronomical capital of the world. I mean, it's just amazing. You go into go into a pre or post Geneva. I mean, Geneva is beautiful. What a beautiful city that is. So again, it's just you have to. And I've always said you never spend enough time in Budapest. I mean, we never do. No matter how many hours, I always want people to spend a couple of days in Budapest. There's so much.
Like they should take the pre or post trip and spend some extra time there. Is what you're saying?
It's so much to see. And
well,
do.
as long as you're over that way, you might as well take advantage.
Well,
of it.
I agree. Exactly.
Longer.
You spent the money to get there, so let's now take advantage of all this.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Well, let's talk about how much planning or preparation do you think people should do to get ready to take a trip like this, or make the plan and make some sort of monetary deposit so that they have. Is this kind of like anything spontaneous we could do, or not so much?
Well, number one, as Kathy will tell, the first question you probably ask somebody is make sure your passport's valid.
And make sure it's valid for 6 months after your return date. It can't be anything less than that. If it's less than that, go renew it now because you're not going to be able to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It has to be good for 6 months beyond your return date.
Yes,
I had
good advice.
And I had a client going on a river cruise, and she was like maybe a week shy of 6 months.
No, they wouldn't accept it.
Nope.
No.
She had to go renew it. She wasn't happy, but there's nothing we can do. She had to renew it in order to go, or else they wouldn't let her go.
Okay.
Now, as far as planning, if you would have asked me this question in, say, mid 21, even early 22, I would say yes. There's probably a lot of space, but today, it's post-COVID. And people are traveling. Yes. And if you are looking for, and a lot of people want the larger staterooms. We offer suites, which are 350 square feet. We offer our regular twin balconies that vary from 210, 235 square feet. We also have our French balcony, which is 107, but we also have our lower cabins, which are 170 or 160 square feet. So again, most people want either the suites or the larger, and if you want a particular site, you have to plan ahead.
To get what you want.
To get what you want. But again, I would say don't wait till last minute. Number one, air. Air is at a premium. I mean, I'm not an air person whatsoever. I mean, I really leave that up to you, Kathy.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. It's the air that causes a lot of problems too for people.
Yeah.
Because they can't get where they want to go because there isn't any.
Yeah.
So you've got the cruise, but you have no way to get
Now,
there.
now what am I going to do? Can't swim.
Yeah. I mean, we offer air, and we have wonderful air contracts that Kathy can offer her clients to come with us and do a pre and post, et cetera. But I would suggest if you've got a river cruise on your mind, talk to Kathy ahead of time about, okay, how I want this particular itinerary. I can only go during this date.
Then
what are my options?
We have to do this
So
now.
planning,
you
like
need
even
to-
a year ahead of time
Oh,
is not
yeah.
too
Absolutely.
much.
Not at all.
Absolutely.
That sounds so far. When people are planning a trip, they're like a year ahead of time. But really, you'll benefit from knowing ahead of time.
I mean, look at Kathy we were just talking about Alaska.
Yes.
I mean, how sold out it is.
It's terrible trying to get anybody, and if you want to get a cabin on the either starboard or port side, it's like, it's hard. It's very, very hard right now.
So make your dream come true by
and
planning
ahead of time. Absolutely.
And I've
Don't
always
wait.
said the planning is part of the fun.
Oh, it is part of the fun because what if we did this, and then if we didn't do that, we could do this.
Right.
And that's part of it. You're putting all this together, and it's your dream. So come on, guys, we got to do this now.
And I know that like we consider in the cruise industry, we consider January to March 31st wave season. And we are offering a lot of wonderful specials for 2024 as well as for 2025. And so again, if they've got the time and this is what they want to do, then
Do it now.
Don't wait
Absolutely.
until. I was just talking to an agent that had clients that wanted to do a particular itinerary, and they were looking to book the end of December for this year.
Okay.
And they waited, and now they waited till just a couple of days ago, and the price has gone up because the special that was offered then
Is no
longer there. So if you've got our deposits for AMA anyway are only $400 per person, and final payment is 90 days. prior to departure.
You offer insurance on those?
Absolutely. And we
Okay.
also offer, if you purchase our insurance, a Travel Waiver Plus, which is canceled for any reason up to 31 days prior to departure.
Oh, that's wonderful. I
And
mean,
so
because
somebody
things
decides
happen.
that
Yeah.
they break a hand, a nail.
Something happens, yeah, right.
They,
Yeah.
they
Right.
can cancel.
They can cancel for any reason. Yeah,
And that
that's
gets
great.
your money back.
They get,
Yeah.
depending upon when they cancel, they can either get a refund plus what we call an FCC, a future cruise benefit.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
just wanted to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
You know that.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you, Mary Margaret. I mean, it sounds really great.
I just going to throw in one thing, and this is, we did a cruise down the Nile.
Oh,
We started in Luxor and went all the way down to Aswan. That is the most relaxing way to take a trip. We just sat up on top because it had a small little swimming pool, and you just watch the country go by, and you can see the people, and you learn so much from just sitting there and watching this. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved the river cruise.
yeah.
Besides that, I also loved Egypt.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes.
I'd go back tomorrow.
Yeah, well, get on that, Kathy.
I will.
Yes.
Well, Kathy, tell people how we can get a hold of you so we can plan these great trips.
Yeah, we got to do this. We are in Worth at 111th and Worth Avenue on the corner next to the Worth Snack Shop, 6946 West 111th Street. We are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. If you need a later one, you need a Saturday, all you got to do is just call us and we'll be glad to stay there for you. 708-448-6560. Come on, guys, we need to run away from home.
So true.
I love that.
That's true. Well, thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Mary Margaret, for coming in
Thank
today
you.
on this
Thank you.
really blustery, cold day. And thanks for watching us. And go ahead, plan that trip, and make it a great day. Bye now.
Thank you.